Please subscribe.
Regardless of whether the Earth's glass of hydrocarbons is half full or half void is easily proven wrong, yet the truth that petroleum products are a limited wellspring of fuel isn't lost on automakers. Is anything but an issue of if but instead when. In any case, Hyundai is supporting its wagers on a simply air showcase with another energy union vehicle it calls the Nexo. In the event that you kill framework issues from thought for a minute, using the most bounteous component known to mankind, hydrogen, as a vitality source bodes well. As indicated by Hyundai, hydrogen as a vehicular fuel is additionally an issue of when. Dissimilar to vitality stockpiling gadgets, for example, batteries or capacitors, once H2 is caught and pressurized, the misfortunes are negligible. Putting away 100 kilowatt-hours in a battery for a year is outlandish in light of the fact that the condition of charge drops after some time. Power devices lose a portion of their productivity in virus atmospheres, yet not so significantly as one will experience with batteries. Indeed, pressurized hydrogen can be hazardous. Notwithstanding, there are different approaches to store hydrogen for long lengths, and smelling salts, for instance, that include less hazard. As indicated by Hyundai's examination, utilizing a hydrogen energy unit in a 2-ton vehicle, for example, its Nexo begins to bode well once the objective range outperforms 220 miles. As range gets longer, it bodes well, since making an energy component vehicle go more distant on a solitary top-off doesn't require including substantial batteries at a decreasing comeback to productivity. Everything you do is include another or a bigger H2 tank. This equal the initial investment point is conversely corresponding to mass. At 11-ton power device transport, similar to the couple of models Hyundai had skimming around as the 2018 Winter Olympics, is less expensive than a battery transport at an objective scope of 60 miles. The fact is, all the expense of a power module is in the stack. You go by including fuel as opposed to a greater stack, while going more distant on battery power implies a greater battery with consistent losses from including mass. The 2019 Nexo Limited, similar to the one we tried, has an EPA-assessed scope of 354 miles. The somewhat progressively proficient-based Nexo Blue, while sharing its three 10,000 pounds per square inch tanks that hold an aggregate of 6.3 kilograms of hydrogen with the Limited, offers an EPA scope of 380 miles. For reference, 1 kilogram of H2 has generally a similar vitality as a gallon of gas. That scarcely knocks off the 366-mile Honda Clarity as the energy component territory ruler. A battery ever this sort of range is typically just vaporware that an egotist touts and immediately gone to question and answer session. Furthermore, Hyundai is really selling its Nexo, not renting it. All other Hyundai energy unit vehicles previously, for example, the Tucson fuel cell, have been offered on restricted-term leases. Hyundai has at long last refined the sturdiness of the energy component stack to a point where it is sure it will keep running with little issue for a long time. That stack, which Hyundai has diminished in size, mass, it's down to 196 pounds from 231 in the Tucson fuel cell, and cost, it contains just 56 grams of costly platinum, where the Tucson's required 78, is the place all the science occurs. By joining hydrogen and oxygen caught from the encompassing air, an energy unit creates power and water. That power sustains a 161 horsepower electric engine in the engine and drives the Nexo's front wheels through an immediate drive gearbox. Not that the vehicle is offered in numerous spots where a virus begin is basic, however Hyundai additionally improved the energy component chilly climate execution, with the capacity to begin in conditions as cold as less 22 degrees Fahrenheit. Outside styling is without a doubt Hyundai with the corporate falling grille and split headlights. The essential lights are in a different gap beneath the LED daytime running lights. Mechanized flash entryway handles include a modern detail, while air-centered 18 or 19-inch Hagel's column rooftop supports improve the ever-basic streamlined execution. Size-wise, it fits between the present Tucson and the new Santa Fe, being longer and more extensive than the previous and riding on a more extended wheelbase than the last mentioned. There is 30 cubic feet of load space behind the agreeable for grown-ups second line, one solid shape not exactly in the Tucson. A two-top directing wheel, a couple of 12.3-inch shows, a push-catch transmission, and a skimming focus stack joint for an inside that looks in no way like that of some other Hyundai, spare just the typeface for the different controls. It's a vaporous lodge with full-width structure components to help that feeling of room. Speed of the Nexo was at. It achieved 60 miles per hour in 8.4 seconds in our testing, which is speedier than Hyundai's gauge of 9.5 seconds, however not actually quick. The moment to work of the Nexo's engine, be that as it may, gives enough push to get up to cruising speed before the finish of an expressway entrance ramp. That sounds like a low bar to reach, and it is, yet that shouldn't hinder anybody from considering the Nexo and their thoughts about the ultra-proficient vehicle. Every one of the three of the Toyota Prius Primes we've tried took over 10 seconds to get to 60 miles per hour, despite everything they drink gas. In our correlation trial of the Honda Clarity and Toyota's power device Mirai, the Mirai did the deed in 8.9 seconds. The dragster of the hydrogen class is the Honda, timed at 8.1 seconds to 60 miles per hour in the correlation test. The Nexo's electrically helped directing is fittingly tuned, on the light side with no slop. Its skid pad and braking numbers, it holds at 0.82 grams and prevents from 70 miles per hour in 169 feet, are both impressively superior to the Mirais and the Clarities. A roadway self-governance framework like Tesla's autopilot is standard, just like all the normal dynamic well-being highlights, for example, vulnerable side observing and computerized crisis braking. The gentle self-governance, which Hyundai calls highway driving assist and lane following assist, isn't exactly as consistent as the competition's. There is some ping-ponging in a path. It isn't the most exceedingly terrible in such manner, however it unquestionably isn't the best, either. By 2019, Hyundai Gauges California will have a grid of 100 hydrogen refueling stations, which is the reason the organization will just sell the Nexo there. With the beginning cost of $59,345, the Nexo won't change the commercial center. That may need to hold up until 2021, the year Hyundai has guaranteed level 4 self-sufficiency in the Nexo. Be that as it may, for the rest to work, the vehicles must be in an associated city. Like hydrogen refueling stations, those are rare. For power device vehicles to achieve authentic market entrance, the United States would need to put billions in the framework. Regardless of whether a progressive jump in impetus innovation replaces fuel without to such an extent as adding a whiff of burden to the purchaser, not driving is the one accommodation the Open is asking for nowadays. We're willing to wager that their hydrogen win is going to trail the independent win by a reasonable edge.